Hi, I'm Christy. You probably know that because you ordered makeup from me, but I want to walk you through what to do once your makeup arrives. So hopefully you listened and got the palette 12 like I had probably recommended so that you have room to grow in case you didn't fill it all up that very first order. So when it comes, you're gonna have your palette and then you're gonna have a bunch of these metal tins. These are magnetic. You're gonna take the top off and then that is the color that you're gonna slide in place into your compact. Little trick, you can keep one of these, you don't need to keep them all, and you can slide those in between to pop out those shades when you need to reorder. And then another word to the wise, the colors are on the back. So you can scroll back to my original message so that you know which colors are what and what you're gonna do with them, but I'm gonna walk you through it. I've already done this side, as you can see, in case you're wondering, and then I'm gonna show you how to do brushes on this side because I'm not sure what you have, so everybody can learn from the way I do this one video. So to prep your face, if you use a moisturizer, make sure you're doing it at least 10 to 15 minutes before so it can absorb into your skin. You wanna make sure it doesn't have silicone in it because silicone and cream will kind of slip off of each other. So if your makeup is not staying in place, check the ingredients of your moisturizer. It could be from that. So different methods that you can prefer. I prefer to use brushes, which is what I'm going to demonstrate here, but I will walk you through what I did on this side as I do this one. So I have recommended if you only get one brush, it's the 3D brush. All of our brushes are double-ended. So if you took my recommendation and you have this one, I'm going to use it to walk you through it. So it doesn't matter what order you put these in. Everything is customized to you. There's no solution, there's no equation or formulas. Sometimes that makes it a little difficult because we want these black and white answers, but you're gonna find a way that works for you. So I'm using the flat end of this, excuse me, 3D brush and going right into my contour. That's the darkest one that looks like chocolate. And then I'm gonna find my cheekbones. I'm squeezing this to make it flat, and I'm gonna hug right underneath those cheekbones. Now, I've already done it on this side. That's my blush there, but this is my contour. You're gonna go, it's mostly about the top of your ear, and don't go further in than the corner of your eye. And really hug underneath. Don't go too low or it's gonna draw your face down. And then we're also gonna put it across our forehead here. And your contour is what adds dimension by adding the natural shadows back into your face. So our faces are 3D. That's why you don't want to put one color foundation all over your whole face because then you just look like one flat dull color. So I've already placed it here by doing the cheetah method, which means the dots everywhere. So we've now done here and here with our contour. And then I'm going to follow along right under my jawline to create that definition there too. So your contour is a cooler shade of brown that's gonna add natural shadowing back in. I'll go ahead and move over here and blend that in as I go. So when I do my brushes, I do have a tendency to blend as I go. This you wanna blend up into your hairline. This I leave right in place until I have my cheek color in place, and then I'll show you how I do that. Now, the versatility of our makeup is crazy good. So this is our line brush. If you didn't get it, you just need a flat angled brush. These brushes, I highly recommend you get from Saint. They are game changers, and they are different than what you buy at the store. And I tried to skimp and get my own brush, cheap ones at Target. No dice. So if you're trying, go ahead, give it a try. And then let me know when you're ready to order our brushes if you didn't get any originally. But like I said, they're all double-ended and high quality, professional grade, and they're designed for this cream makeup. So I'm using the line brush and I'm using my contour to fill and shape my brows. I can switch to this end and shape them. I already did this one, and I'm just quickly showing you. Now you can also use that same line brush, same contour, and line your lips. You can line your eyes with this. You can use your finger and use it as an eyeshadow on your lower lid. Now I do like to do my eyes first in case there's any fallout. I can clean up as I do the rest of my face. I like to do my creams on the first layer and then powders on the second layer. So I've used the contour in all of these fun ways. I also use just my fingers like this, rub them together, and then walked them right down the bridge of my nose. So I've already done that. And now I'll show you your main shade, which is the darker one that pretty much blends into your skin. So I've already added it on this side. And now I'm actually gonna use that same end that I just used here for the contour and dip into my main shade. And this is gonna go in the area where you would grow a beard. And like I said, with my brushes, I like to blend in as I go. So here's where I would grow a beard. You can somewhat control the coverage. If you want more, you're just gonna apply a little more and press a little harder. This 3D brush is gonna give a medium coverage. And then I'm going right underneath where my contour is and down towards the outer part here, blending as I go. And I already did this, and then I guess I should say a goatee, because over here and here. Now I very lightly put it on. I'm just tapping it right under my eye. If you have mature skin, texture, uneven skin, fine lines and wrinkles, you don't want to bring a lot of attention to that area by putting this bright color. So and less is more. I am barely tapping into this and barely placing it, just tapping it under my eye with my main shade. And then I'm going to show you where I use my brightening shade, because I don't go all over under my eye with it. Ideally, this is not, I can use this end for my brightening shade, but I like to use a really loose brush to do under my eye so that I'm using the least amount of product possible. So this is the blend brush. You could also use the small end of the detail brush, or you can even use your finger, just barely tap. The key is as little amount as possible. That's how you're gonna prevent creasing and settling in those fine lines and wrinkles. So again, if you have texture like me under your eyes, it's okay, we all do, then just barely tap on your main shade, and then I'm gonna show you the only places to use your brightening shade. So now I've flipped over to the smaller end of my 3D brush, and I'm using my brightening highlight, that's the lighter one, and just placing that on the inner corner to make my eye look more open. And then I'm gonna lift it outward on the outer corner. And then the main shade and this brightening shade are gonna blend together, but this is what helps give that 3D look. You're using different shades on your face, not all one. Now I already took my brightening shade and went right down the middle of my nose, and then I used my finger to do it out here on this side. So you're doing your T-zone with this brightening shade, inner corner, outer corner. So I've already done the inner corner and outer corner. I need to follow out my T-zone here, and I'm putting on as little as possible with these colors, ladies. This cream foundation is so pigmented that you don't need nearly as much as what you think. So the first key mistake when you're using this makeup is using too much. Don't put it on like your old makeup. You need so little. You really do. And then it's going to, as this is on my face, the temperature of my skin is warming it up, and it is just blending into my skin, melting into it. I just applied my cheek color there. I did want to show, you can see I have a little bit of a blemish there. I'm gonna go darker. I'm using my main highlight just to tap on that and cover that up. You actually don't want to go lighter like we always thought to conceal. You want to go darker. And then that same color I put on my cheeks, which is Royal Gloss. I love it. I'm gonna add to my lips. Now I'm gonna go back and blend this side in with my 3D brush. And like I said, less is more. You can use either end for this, your choice, your preference. The nose, I kind of like to go back and forth a little bit. You can try a primer before you put your makeup on. I always recommend just starting minimal. Start without if you need it, then you can add it. We have our setting spray, which some people like to add to their face before and after. Another one I really like is Urban Decay. They make a great primer. and you might not need one at all. It's just different for everybody. So I'm blending this side as I go too. I do my cheek contour the very last. Just blending it all in. So like I said, don't use too much. If it feels heavy or cakey or greasy, and you just feel it sitting on your skin, chances are you use too much. Number one mistake, using too much product. Number two mistake, not enough contour. Number three, over blending the contour. So I have everything blended in except for my cheek right there on both sides. And let's really get that zoomed in, or blended in. Give me some grace here. It's hard to work into a mirror with light behind me or into my phone instead of a mirror. I have a mirror to the right here, if you want to know why I keep looking over here. Now, if you are a younger girl and you are not worried about fine lines and wrinkles, instead of using your main under here, you can use that brightening highlight for this whole pie shape underneath. This 44-year-old gal can't do that. And now I'm going back to my contour and I'm blending it up. This is a push-up bra for your cheeks. I'm just flicking upward motions. Do not blend it like this, and do not bring it down, or it's gonna look all muddy right there. And you're not gonna get the look that you want. You're gonna think, ew, it looks like I've got mud on my cheek. Also remember, you're not used to having sculpted out cheekbones. So even though you're putting it on and you're like staring at that because you're not used to it, people are taking in your whole look, not just looking for the contour. So allow yourself time to adjust and get used to this look, and get used to applying it the right way. This is my Illuminator. It's rose gold, and I'm just gonna tap it right above my cheek color there, and that catches the light. It's such a subtle step, but it is gorgeous. And when you're talking to somebody and the light's reflecting off of them and illuminating back at you, it's mesmerizing. So you can tap that right along your cheek there, as heavy or as little as you want. Again, you get to customize it. I also like to add it right underneath my brow bone to reflect light there, and right down the center of my nose. Cupid's bow, and then you can even tap it on your lips for a little bit to change the color of your lipstick a little bit. If you get a second brush, it's the blush and bronzer brush, hands down. This big loose end is what I usually use for a final blend all over for a light natural finish. So you can do it all with that 3D brush. However, if there is a second one, this is it, hands down. And then you can just go over all of that for a smoothed finish. And then I love this guy. This is our Perfector sponge, and especially if you have mature skin, this works beautifully for sealing it all in, especially right underneath your eyes, so there's no settling or creasing. So it smooths it out, but also if there's any excess product, it lifts it up. So if you're heavy-handed or if you have oily spots, use this to go back over it. You want to make sure that you really wet it and wring it out first. If you have our setting spray, you can either finish by doing a crisscross, like an X motion. You want it to actually be pretty wet. Or if you prefer, you can spray the Perfector sponge and then dab everything in place. And that is pretty much your whole face. So it looks complicated at first because there's different colors and it's not what you're used to. But I promise you, once you do it all and give it a couple chances, it's super quick. You can do it in like 5 minutes and you get a feel for where everything goes, and you just do it fast. It takes a little bit of extra time in the beginning. There's definitely a learning curve. Please reach back out to me. I'm happy to troubleshoot. There's usually an easy solution if something is not working or you're not in love with it. There's usually just one little thing you have to tweak. So please feel free to reach back out to me. And if you need refills, any questions at all, you know where to find me. Thanks, have fun, and just love looking at yourself and seeing the beauty that we see when we look at you.